Okay, okay, okay. Sun is out. It's gonna be paid today. So peace. Um, this week we are looking at trusting ourselves. And I think initially I was thinking about when I didn't carry other people's fear and my children thrive. And you've heard that in a few different ways in birthing. Maybe I haven't talked about it a lot with homeschooling, but in a few different places. And we've talked about, being good support to other people, and clearing our own fears in order to do that, or at least being aware of our own fears in order to do that. So, um, what I'd really like to talk about is I'll still reference some things about my children and my blessing of learning alongside them and as they've grown and as I've grown. Um, but I really want to look at the difference between fear and intuition. It's very easy to confuse the two if you don't have your weight up. And even sometimes when you do have your weight up, if you're off your square. But one of my teachers have said that consistency brings confidence. And so when we're honing our intuition, uh, and being still and listening and being quiet and acting on the things that may not seem of high consequence, um, intuition about I've heard which way to go in traffic and trusting that, or intuition on which outfit am I wearing today, intuition on what meal am I going to cook, and then letting the creator, the universal soul show you, the ancestors show you where that decision was optimal right now. And then in growing in those things, being able to make the decisions that may be more consequential. I mean, they're all significant, but the ones that you might have a greater stake in. Um, so I'm gonna give you a couple good church acronyms. One is a scripture, but the other one's an acronym. So um, all my good Black church folks have heard faith is the evidence of things unseen. Faith is the substance of things unseen, the evidence of things hoped for. Okay, so we say that a lot. Substance of things unseen, the evidence of things hoped for, which the older I get feels like manifestation. It's calling things into being, which is what that is. And in church, I also heard the acronym for fear was false evidence appearing real. And I think those are good things to look at. Um, when we look at our intuition, intuition doesn't just call positive things. Okay? We don't look like Cheech and Chong out here or Snoop. Um, but um, doesn't just call positive things. Intuition will let you know about a myriad of things, a lot of things. Um, but the feeling is different. So just to anchor in those two thoughts, false evidence appearing real and the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. They're two completely different things. Um, when I started our homeschool co-op, there were about 4 or 5 children. Three of them were mine. So five. I think there were five of us. And one of them, his grandmother would come with him, and she had Alzheimer's. And so, uh, but every once in a while, she'd be really clear. And Grandma Kathy said, "What's the good in worrying?" She was like, "What is it? What is it going to do for you? Are you changing anything by worrying?" And I was like, "No, no, I'm really not. It's not making me any more aware. It's not helping me create a game plan. I'm not clear-minded. I'm worrying. I'm knotted up." And so, um, I think about that often. When we differentiate between fear and intuition, it's easy to confuse them because they come strong, especially if you've been honing your intuition. It comes in a very strong, like strong way, but the strength is different. So when we in our practice in our practicing a culture, we talk about a soul a lot, the river, the stream, the water, and that the goal is to be clean water, is to be clear water, it's to be still water. Because when water is troubled, when it is stirred up, uh, everything at the bottom of the riverbed is stirred up, so it's unclear and it's turbulent. And so for me, that's the difference between fear and intuition. Is fear makes it so that you can't see clearly, that it's easy to be hyper focused on one thing so much that you can't really discern what's going on. It's just, this cannot happen, this cannot happen, this cannot happen, or this has happened before and it cannot happen again, or I'm scared, it's going to, all those things. And it's such a tight, bound up feeling. It's frantic, it's scattered. Um, but intuition is balanced, it is allowing. Fear is a gripping thing, like it's like it takes hold of you. But intuition is allowing. It is, even if the intuition is that something not great is going to happen, there's the ability to see possibility. Where can this be used for good? Where can I possibly affect a tide in a different way? Where can I be prepared to support if what I'm hearing actually does come to bear? It's a very different energy. Fear almost makes you blind. Intuition lets you see. Um, and so intuition comes grounded in that still water. And so I want us to think about that as we move through this week. Is there's a lot of instances. There's a lot of instances with. It's easiest to see it in my experiences as a child, a young child, and an adult child, but also to see it in the experiences of parenting. And parents, we are not tabula rasa or clean blank slates. We are people with experiences, and we bring our experiences to our children. And so, in the best of situations, we bring those experiences with wisdom and intuition. And we think about what we've seen before and the patterns that we've noticed. In the worst, we lay our experiences on top of them like a smothering blanket and then move forward in fear. So that is one of the easiest places for me to find examples and spaces of discerning between intuition and fear. And so again, your fear or the false evidence appearing real will distort things so badly that you will see things that are not necessarily there and be gripped in that sensation. While intuition allows, it's allowing, it allows messages to come, it allows blessings to come, it allows caution to come, not gripping. The story I'm going to share before I sign on off is I remember in college and the first young man I was in love with, and the relationship ended, and we both liked colors, and so everything that were these two colors, we like, oh, that's us, see, that's us, see, that's us. And even after the relationship ended, I remember I would say to my mother, I'm seeing blue and green everywhere. All the cars are blue and green, such and such and such. Like he's everywhere, all this stuff. And my mother's very wise statement to me was, why don't you start looking for red and gray cars? Why don't you start looking for red and gray cars? Because you're looking for blue and green. So you're going to see blue and green. If you start looking for red and gray, you'll start seeing red and gray cars. And she was right. And that is completely true with our fear. What we are looking for, we will find, we will make it so. And with our intuition, what we are welcoming, we will make that so as well. So think about those things. Moving to this, there's a difference. This is breath into, okay.